you ready to assist your company in the fight for Gorka.
Yeah, good point. I like it.
When possible, you want to tell your squads that okay, these two squads are security elements. This squad is assault element. You have to reorganize there in this fashion if possible, unless you all die or some shit. And then you're gonna report to me when you're ready.
Yeah.
But otherwise, good plan. I figure the rest is just Arma getting to you that you need to simplify. But if you can say, okay, I want the squads up here like this. Once they got up there, suppress fire, attack.
Well, and that's a really good point that Arma gets to you, because you're the dungeon master and you're trying to keep everybody appeased. You don't want to take too long, so you feel hurried. Do you feel that too, Bloodbean? You feel like
definitely. I normally, I would try and choose like almost like a middle ground path sometimes. Like if I feel like my top choice plan is going to take a long time. Like this happened in the TVT last Saturday. I wanted to kind of explain my plan a little more and make sure people got it, but people were getting restless in the brief. So I was just like, all right, this is the basic outline, and let's just do it.
But I don't want to labor this too much, but along those lines, is there any tactics to giving somebody something to do and then it's not the best way to do it because people don't have your whole intent, but then you can take some time to formulate the next part of your plan while they're busy working on that?
Yeah, I would imagine this was a big ass mission where we're actually gonna be attacking Gorka as a company. Pretty unlikely in Arma, but if that was gonna happen, then I would have made this plan that you just made, because it didn't take you so long to brief. It just took like 5 minutes to brief it, and then you just needed to add in what you want the individual sections to do when they got in contact. But after that, then you might not want to brief more than we're going to be supporting the assault on Gorka. Then when you get up there, then you're going to say, okay, we're now in position to overwatch Gorka. I want this squad watching there, this squad watching there, etc., etc. And then give out, and then once that's done, give out your brief for the further assault, because the next thing could be that the platoon you just helped out, you have one platoon that is okay. Draw lines for me. You have one platoon here. They're engaging the enemy, and then you have the second platoon, which are your fucking awesome headbangers that can move in pretty quickly, since you're taking out the weapons team and the enemy fortifications, and they're going to be breaching the town defense here. That's the enemy's first town defense being breached here. Then your objective moving forward is, once they get up there, your objective will probably be to get in there, to this building here, provide further overwatch. Then this platoon's pushing in through here. The middle platoon pushing up. Fuck. The middle platoon is pushing up the road to the next section of buildings. North platoon pushing up. Your platoon pushing up, and going down. This is a point I want to get to once we start talking urban ops for whatever reason. But whenever you do urban ops in real life, you would see that a platoon can disappear into a 3-story building. You can spend an entire platoon clearing out a 3-story building in urban combat, in real life at least. So that's always a consideration, and that's why I would actually in real life use a company to attack a town like Gorka, because just that first building, if that's more than 2 stories, then you might have lost a squad just clearing that out if there's actually enemies in there. And just if you're gonna do it correctly, then you actually put a fire team, or at least a 2-man body team, into every single room, because you can expect every time you send someone through a door, you can expect to lose at least one guy. So when you're doing when a company commander would set this up, he would actually be expecting 50% casualties just from taking Gorka, unless the enemy is unless you guys are really good.
Yeah, 50%.
Yeah, you can easily expect 50%. If you're this is the basic assault. You're 3 times more than the enemy when you're assaulting. And that's just barely passable. That's the minimum to be able to attack. But when you get into urban combat, you can basically multiply by 5. There's a rule saying that if you enter urban combat with your numbers 5 times greater than the enemy, you can expect 50% casualties. Urban combat is a mean son of a bitch.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll get more into that later since I thought.
Sorry, for offensive operations.
Yes. Of course, we still have force multipliers, like if we have artillery and the enemy don't, if we have mortars, if we have aviation assets, etc. We might make the fight easier for us.
So, really quickly then, just a quick mention of it. Just to flip it over to defending, if I was defending Gorka, and it was just delaying because it's obviously not trying to hold it against 3 platoons. What would I be expecting? 20% casualties if it was just delaying?
No, that's the good part. The defender can get out of urban combat, killing a lot of enemies with very few casualties. If you were doing a defensive mission as a platoon here, I'm just going to clear out these lines real quick. If you were doing defensive here, let's just put in some markers for you. One sec, guys. I got that.
I don't want to detract from giving somebody else a chance to.
It's just real quick. You might put up like this. When the enemy comes in, then what you're gonna do is basically just from all the little weird angle, like from the cellar window or from a rooftop or other concealed positions from inside the buildings, you have awesome cover. No enemy bullets will be able to shoot through you unless they pack 50 cals or something like that. So you have an awesome cover position and you can engage. Then when the enemy starts pushing closer, then you can basically just send the front unit. You can send them back to the next house block. Okay, they can defend from there. Then the next unit can be sent back. Third unit can be sent back, and you can just keep bounding back from one hiding spot to another. And so basically, whenever the enemy, So let's assume that you clear out this farm right here. The enemy will still be expecting you to come in, so he will be stacking up on this building, trying to breach in, and then when he moves his stack around here, comes around the corner. Whoops! You have a team in here engaging that fire team. Come around the stack. They get 1 or 2 casualties. You fall back, and you basically just do that all the way, causing them a tiny amount of casualties, and you will easily whittle down a company with a platoon in town.
Geez, that'd be fun to do that in TVT.
Yeah,
it seems like in TVT, it's always we just stand there and fight to the death.
Mm-hmm. That's my main problem with TVTs, because you could do so much awesome stuff with a TVT, but I always get depressed that I don't get the chance.
TVTs could be really awesome.
But then again, I always end up thinking, if I was a platoon leader and my company commander told me, you are to attack that area and we expect there is an enemy platoon there, I would just tell them to. No, I'm not going to do that. I can do an advance contact just to fuck them up or something, but I'm not going to actually try and kill all of them. You're just going to lose the entire platoon on that.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm trying to pitch that people make TVTs where you get like, okay, one unit is defensive and they are actually 1/3 of the offensive unit, and you would actually see that if this defensive unit are good enough, they can easily kill all the most of the enemies and render them combat ineffective. No problem at all. They just need to be good and know what they're doing. And also for the offensive part, if they're good and know what they're doing, they can also easily kill the enemy. It's all about being good there. Yeah. Whereas your normal TVT, where it's just 1-on-1, then it's just random luck who wins, basically.
That's the thing, man. I love those insurgent TVTs where Blue 4 have to go into a 10 and kill the Op 4. Or Op 4, due to their low numbers, can easily flank and psychologically fuck up the enemy.
Exactly.
I just wanted a Bloodbane wanted to do one of these. Maybe we could set one up and then chat while he's planning it.
Yeah, I'm done.
See, you get map number 3.
Okay.
Let's see what I was planning out here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Okay, Bloodbane, your V is here. And notice how I'm only giving you squad-sized objectives, and that's because if you get a squad-sized objective, you can expect your platoon to be combat effective after the fight. If you do it right, if you do it wrong, you might not be effective anymore. Yeah, thanks for that. So Bloodbane situation is your company has the momentum forward, and you are to clear out this little town of UOTC in order to continue north and engaging the enemies. And the enemy will most likely be doing defensive or delaying action against you. So he will use light machine guns and RPG teams to stop you. He will not commit the entire platoons to actually stop you. He'll just delay you. So he'll be fighting delaying action through all of this.
Okay.
And you got your mission. So cool. The rest of you guys just want to say. You heard about the Marines fighting in Fallujah, right?
Yeah.
Basically, what happened there is when the Marines got stopped, they would usually get a platoon would usually get stopped by 2 or 3 guerrillas, engaging them from a house, and they could spend an hour clearing out one house because they would just have those 2 guerrillas running around inside that house, engaging them from all kinds of little hiding spots they'd found. And then once the Marines had begun having cleared out the house, they would just run out through a basement window or a ceiling window or something, run out into the next building, and then start engaging them from the next building, doing the exact same thing.
That's beautiful, man.
And I've seen it quite often in Afghanistan as well, that sometimes the 2-man Taliban team has stopped my unit cold. Just by having a couple of trenches around the compound, and they could just run around between the trenches and in the compound and just engage us for 2 hours before we were able to get close enough to take them out.
And
Wow.
those Afghan guerrillas, man. Those are sharp.
Yes, a lot of people tend to make snarky remarks about the Taliban are dumbasses and stuff, but they're fucking awesome.
Oh, they're
They're
not.
smart. They're fucking smart, man.
I played a mission once where we had 2 OP4 that were human. They were it was on Pakistan, and we had a whole platoon, and the assignment was to move up into this valley and look for these 2 guys, and they were mixed in with all the civilians. Holy cow, what an intense mission. Took about 2 hours doing it, and the hair on the back of my neck was standing up all the time. Every time we were moving from one building to the next building, we could feel crosshairs on us. It was a really cool mission, having human players in there, and we didn't know if they were going to fire at us or not. And the objective was we couldn't fire on them until they fired at us, and they might be using satchel charges that they were detonating. We didn't know what they might do. So there was 2 of us, 2 of them against a whole platoon, and they kept us busy for 2 hours, and they hardly fired a shot. When they finally started to fire, we got them pinned down and addressed them very quickly. But boy, that was intense TVT.
Yeah, you just imagine yourself walking along a road, and just as one guy passes a doorway or something, you can just pop out 3 rounds from an AK in his back, and before anyone can even react, you can just have turned and run out of that courtyard. And the enemy would just be like, fuck, we just lost a guy, holy crap, what are we gonna do?
I did that one time to a squad. Zargabad. I was just shoot him, pop out, run away. There'd be just suppressing the building I was in. Repeat the same thing over again until I killed 2 guys and then I died because guy saw me as I ran away.
I also had an awesome TVT at another community. We were only 9 people, but we made a 3 versus 3 versus 3, so 3 blue 4, 3 op 4, and 3 insurgents. And I was in the insurgents team. And there were also civilians, and then we put our weapons on the back and walked through the town and searched for the others. And it was so awesome because we went like 2 meters away from them, looked at them, walked, then get in the corner, get our weapons out, get in the corner, and shoot them. This is really awesome.
Nice. Basically, like playing Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
Exactly.
Yes!
It was so fun because one team noticed and said, I think there aren't any civilians. I think there aren't any civilians. And I laughed so hard at the end because I was hiding myself behind a wall or something. And then I heard the one guy saying, I'm just looking around the corner. And then he popped in front of me and I shoot him in the face.
Okay, so what I would do is I would have my squads move from the ORV to basically the edge of the tree line overlooking the town. And that SBF position, I think that would be where my weapons team is. Looks like it'd have a really, really good field of fire down on the town. And then the first thing I would do would be basically get the 3 base of fire squads up, and the squad on the far left would breach that first house on the west side of town. And I think it would become, it's hard to say, I guess, like what the exact angles would be, but I think I'd pretty much want to push all of my squads in eventually. So if I could get eyes on the enemy, I would have my base of fire start engaging. If not, I would start pushing up other squads. So the second squad on the left, I would kind of push up to breach the next house in. And those 2 would kind of start bounding forward through the houses. And then at the same time, once those 2 are into the town, I would have the other 2 squads kind of breach from the south, and have them try and maintain kind of line of sight between them and clear slowly northeast. And then once they've cleared, since they're trying to slow our advance down, I would probably try and move through and past the town as quickly as possible to the reorganization point. But like you were saying, especially in a town with so many buildings like this one, it would be, especially if that enemy squad spreads out and kind of just lone wolfs it in like a suicide mission, they could probably do us a lot of damage and slow us down. So I try and keep my squads together so they can mutually support each other, but at the same time, I'd want to try and move quickly through the town since our ultimate objective is to clear this and get past it. So yeah, so I'd have basically the weapons squad would be supporting with the squad only on the right flank. First 2 squads would push in on the left flank, followed by the squads on the right flank, and then bound through the town, essentially.
Okay. Good plan. Anyone want to critique on that?
Wait, I just want to know, what do you do about the heavy weapons section that's up on this hill here?
Yeah, I think so. When we get in position, I think we would kind of like recon the town and try and get eyes on it. Just like if we didn't know about any enemy positions outside the town, I definitely have the squads kind of looking around the open space. But I don't know. So like I think that's one of the dangers is I guess like a little bit too much. I don't know. Like a little too much focus on the town, because I think I'd really want to figure out where that enemy unit is in the town, and so I think if we like detected that squad to the north, or say if my first squad starting getting engaged by them, I think the position my weapon squad is in is pretty commanding. They should be able to turn and engage essentially. If not, I think I would have to maneuver them a bit, and then we'd we have to cross over to open space to neutralize that position. But I think that the hill I put my weapon squad on should give them kind of a good fire pretty much anywhere around the town. Let me see. Let me just check the height of the hill. So we're a little lower maybe, but otherwise we should be able to engage them pretty effectively.
Okay. Anyone else?
You know, I would move 2 squads over here. And then attack to freaking down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually.
Can anyone tell me what principle you're violating here?
You're separating your platoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're making yourself vulnerable to enemy reserves because just because you're expecting the enemy to fight delaying action doesn't mean that he isn't getting reinforcements for this. So basically, what you do, one thing is you send separate your platoon. The second thing is that if the enemy is intent on fighting a delaying action, he will most likely have a machine gun facing down that road, either from this building right here or from this building. So when you cross that road, one squad down. That's a thing you need to consider.
Yeah. Well, so one thing is, especially, if they put in that second building into the town, I'm not really sure how I would, because I think, if I was the defending squad leader, I would set up my MG so that he's, covered from the hills that are around the town, especially, this hill if I know the enemy is coming from this direction. So I'm not really sure how to, safely put my weapon squad somewhere where they can cover, without putting my weapon squad into danger of being wiped out by the machine gun, how to put them somewhere where they can, neutralize it. Without getting a mortar squad or some sort of indirect fire, to engage targets of opportunity in the town.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna say something now.
Yep.
The thing you want to do before you even get your platoon up there, leaders recon.
Right.
You don't want to risk the enemy being alerted to your presence because right now you're just down in ORV. You've been quiet all the way, and they won't be able to hear you. So you can basically just wander off with you and your squad leaders, and you guys can just be a tiny little recon team, get eyes on the town, find out what kind of emplacements does the enemy have. Is he fighting from the town? Can we even see him in the town? Is he in the tree lines around the town on the hills, or where is he? You can get a sense for that before you move in. Then when you have a feeling that you know the enemy, what the enemy is going to do, then you can fall back to your RV and then tell the people, okay, I want to do this. Then we're going to assume that this is the correct plan. What I would be very mindful of, as Jimbo said, the flanks as you move through town, because what I would do if I was the enemy, I would most likely just have one MG team, or maybe even just a couple of AKs with grenade launchers or whatever I had, fighting from inside the town, and have them do a withdrawal back through the town, just to lure you in, just to make you think, okay, there's definitely enemies in here. We need to go get them. And then I would fucking have a machine gun up here, most likely, or an RPG, and I would have a unit down here with a machine gun or RPG. So when you get into the town, I'll fucking I'll have you get lit up, while my AK team in the town would just be running out this way, back to friendlies, and then out of the contact.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to be very mindful of the flanks, and you might even want to put your SBF team over here instead, so you can engage that hillside there as well, and that tree line on the right side.
Right. Yep.
But otherwise, good plan. You want to push through that town. You want to get in there and get to that reorg point. That's a good thing that you can ID. Okay, we need to get forward, and we just need to reorganize on the other side of this town, because the town is death trap. We like to fight since we're light infantry. We like to fight from the tree lines. We don't like open spaces at all. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns?
But wouldn't it be better to place a reorganized point and east of the town, because you don't know what enemies are in these tree lines? And if they're delaying, there should be some.
Yes, that's a good point, Tatum.
Maybe a reorganized point would be good at 123-081 at the tree line on the hill, so you can maybe spot the enemies and have cover from the north, and maybe from the west with the trees and east from the town.
Good point.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
When you have taken over an objective, like that town, what it's called because the red line's on it, take it over, would it be a good idea to place your weapons squad in a better position to observe the 2 roads, so an enemy can get into the town from those 2 roads?
Yeah, it's, if you're supposed to be defending the town, preventing the enemy from getting in there, then yes, the first priority is getting weapons teams to cover the road, because they have the guns that can actually stop vehicles, and then have everyone else watch the tree lines for light infantry units. But if you're moving on, then and using Tassel's reorg, which is an excellent point, as you clear the town, just get into the tree line, then I would put the weapon section there and have them face north, so they could stop any enemy reserve units coming in along that road there. Then have the rest of the platoon basically line up on the east side, facing north and east. And then when we were reorganized, then we could basically follow the red line the enemy would be following, and then continue north along that line.
Okie dokie.
Okay. That's unless you guys really want to do more. That's basically it on what I have for you now. We can easily do more stuff because I have more maps, but
Tassel, do one.
Yeah.
Can I try one, God hand?
Yeah.
Soviet.
Net Soviet. He couldn't make one at the defense course.
Yeah, I feel sad and alone because of that.
oh fuck! What was my plan for this one? Shit.
Dude, 3 valleys. I want the 3 valleys.
You want the death maps?
Yes, I can unfuck myself. There is a solution.
Shoot yourself?
Solution. Shoot myself and save me the pain.
This is a bad map.
Oh yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Oh, this is better.
Yeah, this is cute.
You're cute.
Yeah.
But here we go for the house. Oh.
Oop. And your ORV is nice and ninja in this little clearing here. Never spot you.
Is it the blue? Yeah. There it is.
Okay. So in this case, you're part of a big-ass operation. We're about to take Chernogorsk, which is to the south of this hill where the enemy squad is on. And in connection to that, your platoon is to take that hill and provide in order to clear it out and prepare for some friendly AT units to get up there and be ready to pulverize any enemy armor units that are in there. They're basically just waiting for you to clear out that hill.
Alright.
Gonna put in some companies.
On that hill, that's a squad or a platoon, right?
That's a squad.
It's a squad.
You can use these. If you see the blue one, you see the X, that means light infantry, and then you see the 3 dots at the top. That means platoon. If it's 1 dot, it's a squad, and if it's a little circle, then it's a fire team.
All right.
And if it's a 1 bar, then it's a company of 2 bars, battalion.